Hey, welcome back. So what we're doing here is I actually have a two-parter to this video, and this first half we're talking about doing a basic corporate video. You already know, a client standing there in front of the camera delivering lines to the camera, and so that's what we're about to set up to do. And it is, our process is different. So the first thing that we come to do is we're gonna see, okay, where we're gonna place the client, where we're gonna place the talent. Okay, usually we're looking for the corner of the room, because what a talking head video can be is it can be very boring if you're not making it interesting, especially if you're in a room that doesn't have variety. You know, there's not much going on. There's just a wall behind them. There's not windows. It doesn't look nice. It also helps, like if those windows were tinted, then now you have some visual variety. We've done some videos at hospitals where it's like, man, the windows are tinted and we shoot at the window and the client's sitting there in front of it and it looks fantastic. And then there's times when you're in a boardroom like this and the background can be very boring. So we're there to spruce it up. You know, we have a light on a projector mount right there in the back. That's just to spruce it up a little bit, maybe throw in a little bit of color. We're shooting into the corner of the room. So we place ourselves in one corner and we shoot into the opposite corner so that we're getting some depth in the room. And the other thing that really helps is this light that we've been using lately. Not this one in particular, but the one in the background there, the Godox F200R. That has been a lifesaver. As you can see, we're kind of close to the wall there, but we're not so far off of the wall or so close to the wall because we're using this flat panel light that gives off a nice quality of light. Now, the downsides of a light like that is it's not super ubiquitous. You can't use it in all circumstances. Usually this is for interview setups, talking head setups. There's not too much more that you're using it for. Whereas, you know, a light fixture, regular light fixtures that we've been, the COBs and everything like that, those are ubiquitous. You can use them in all kinds of situations, especially with Bowen's mount. But we already have those, and, you know, in this situation, we have a panel light and we're able to use it, and look how much space that we have to move it forward or backward or whatnot. So it's been nice to have that. So yeah, we were able to knock these things out. We add the extra piece of diffusion because it softens the light up real nice. And if you didn't watch my last video, it was the Nikon ZR, and if you can do, you know, corporate video with it. And I audition what a COB in a softbox looks like by itself, and then what it looks like with an extra piece of diffusion in front of it. And then I do another piece of diffusion in front of it with just a different type. So one is fabric and one is plastic. And you see the difference between all three. And both of the other versions look better than just the softbox alone. So this is why we always use that extra piece of diffusion when we're filming talking heads. Now, the second half, or the other portion of this video, is when we're filming, you guessed it, a brand film, but it's for the same company. So again, what's the privilege of getting to work with this client is they're constantly building out new branches of their business. And so we were able to film another brand film for this client. We filmed quite a few, but this is another one. So that we're going to add into the overall arching brand film that they have. So this is a standalone, and then we're also going to insert it into the overall brand for the whole business. So it's been fantastic. As I said in my last video, when there's two of us working together, things just go a lot more smoothly. Now, why do we use the ring instead of just using the pistol grip gimbal? One of the main reasons is, now for me, I think that this happens to be a little more stable just by the nature of grabbing this thing with two hands. It just becomes a little bit more stable. But the other thing is we're able to mount that monitor on there, and then from there we're able to mount a transmission system. And when we use the transmission system, both of us are able to have eyes on it. And that, I can't tell you how many times that has helped us so much, because sometimes we're just focused on, oh, I'm looking at, the talent. I'm looking at the person in the frame. And then the other one of us is like, oh, hey, but what about that in the background? We need to move that. Right? So we have somebody who's able to pay attention to those production items, which is incredibly hard to do when you're by yourself. And I know whenever I've been filming by myself, there'll be times where I'm editing my own products, my own production, and I'm like, oh shoot, I wish I would have thought about that when I was on set. Look at that mess in the background. So But there are other times where we are using the pistol grip. Why? Because we're going up on the roof. This stuff is for HVAC, right? So we have to get on the roof and we have to film them servicing some HVAC machines, some ACs. So that's what's going on here. And so we're trying to climb up, no backpacks, just this in hand. Yeah, we're super safe. Safety first, always. All that being said, all this stuff is fun, man. The fact that we get to do, I say it's like adventures. And this is just in town, right? We're just filming other businesses in town. But it's awesome that we get to do this, and this is what we get paid. We make a living doing this, right? And I know that there's other folks out there who get to do what we do, but they get to travel abroad. So they're out there filming cool content for Nat Geo, or super cool content for maybe not Nat Geo, but I remember Philip Bloom did something for I forgot, I think it was CNN. I'm not 100% sure, but it was the something's list or something like that. And he traveled abroad filming on the Sony FS7, and that looked so awesome to me that, you know, this is the kind of job that you get paid to do something like this. And even though we're not traveling abroad, I gotta tell you, man, this is a fantastic job. I don't know, let me know in the comments if you love it or not, but I love the job that we do, and the fact that we get to film things like this is just so cool. And for me, I can't speak for Josh, I know I can speak for myself. Commercials and promo videos and what we're calling brand films, that was my pinnacle, right? And I think the polished commercials are my pinnacle, but still this fulfills some of that niche for me. Now I think Josh leans more towards narrative and film, but this has been my desire is, you know, commercials and stuff like that, where it's not nearly as complicated or convoluted as film and cinema, but still you can produce a fantastic looking image. That's what I like. But anyway, I digress. So we had, again, when we get the opportunity to come film a brand film like this, and we usually schedule it in one day, which again, this is a one-day shoot. The fact that both of us are here filming is a fantastic thing. Again, if there's a shot like this that doesn't necessarily need both of us filming, then I'm gonna jump over here and I'm going to bounce the light, as you can see, and make sure that this thing is lit nicely, right? So again, if it was just me by myself, I had to get out a light stand and try to bounce this light. Usually that's not what happens, right? If we're gonna do this all in one day, again, this is all about shooting it all in one day. Well, because we're together, Josh is on the camera and he's shooting this. I'm seeing it on the monitor so I could see what we're getting. And I just opened that cabinet, white cabinet, bounced the light right off of it, battery powered light, and it lit up the scene beautifully. It was exactly what we needed. So when we're on two cameras, usually it's one is wide, getting wide and mediums, and the other is getting tight and mediums, depending on, you know, what we're filming. So we're getting two different angles as well as getting two different focal lengths. Is that it has pouches. I'm able to put the ND right here inside of its own pouch. Now I've definitely been using this cine saddle, cine bag type of thing in the last few shoots because it's been fantastic. If, again, I'm running with the long lens, so long lens isn't moving that much. You can see me swaying back and forth because that's pretty much all the movement that I'm going to be incorporating when I'm on the long lens. Now, if I was on a wider lens, yeah, then we're going to incorporate a lot more movement, and I would be on the gimbal or something else like that. But since I'm on the long lens, this is going to be stationary, and so instead of using a monopod or carrying around a tripod everywhere, just use this cine saddle style bag, and it works fantastic. And as you saw, it has pockets, so I can put my ND filter in there. Usually I love the Tilta, but we were already using the Tilta on Josh's camera, so that variable ND filter went to that camera. So on mine, I have a bigger small rig matte box, so I was able to get these filters. And I don't know if I've talked about them on the channel before, but they are fantastic, especially for the price. Like, if you know anything about these rectangular filters, they're very expensive per filter. But this one, on the other hand, actually I did talk about it on the channel because I talked about a Black Friday haul that I did, a year ago. And this is one of the products that I got, and it was only like 55 bucks. And a well-spent $55 it was. Came in clutch here. So what we're doing is we're kind of finishing off the B-roll footage by getting some outdoor shots. So that's why we switched over to the ND filter. We got some indoor shots. We got some outdoor shots of residential. And so we're just kind of finishing up here, finishing up the day. And we're showing them also on different products, right? Different types of air conditioners, not just the usual that you saw on the other side of the house. And as you can see there in the background, if you can see between the guy there, the truck was in the background. And we always wanted to prioritize and make sure that the truck was in the background because that is part of branding. And that is part of what we're doing since we're making a brand film. Well, all that being said, I hope that this video helps, and I'll see you guys on the next one.